All right, folks, welcome back to Firewater Farms down here in beautiful PeachLand, North Carolina. It's October, weather's starting to change. Leaves ain't falling yet. Leaves are still holding on, and today it's about 85, so we're looking forward for it to cool off a little bit next week. It's gonna be in the 70s. It's gonna be real nice. It's gonna be October weather. Today we got a guest with us, well, a couple of guests actually. We got the Pee-wee dog right here in the middle. She's hanging out with us today, and my cousin Bob over here, he's hanging out with us today. And Bob, he lives down the road from me. He's my neighbor, he's my cousin. Couldn't ask for a better fella. In the videos y'all seen that big forklift of ours running around unloading log trailers. Probably didn't know who that was on that forklift, and that was cousin Bob on it. He usually unloads a lot of our log trailers. He's real good at driving a forklift. Used to be a professional forklift driver. I think he went to a couple forklift rodeos and won them. But no, he does most of our log unloading. Kind of take the strain off everybody over here at the mill. Helps us out. So this is Bobby, and we're gonna introduce him. And Bob, just tell a little bit about running that big old yard loader. I know it's probably a piece of junk, but it does the job, don't it?
It does. It definitely does. I've drove a lot worse in my day.
Sure.
I used to work construction. Used to be a pipe fitter, and I was the only one that was ever licensed to drive the lifts.
Oh yeah.
Because you have to take classes to do that, and you have to be licensed by the state of North Carolina. So it was the insurance thing, and I covered everybody's butts on that.
Oh yeah.
But I know Daniel was on that thing here at the mill about 2 months before he ever seen me get on it, and we were setting the containers for the kilns one day.
Yeah, we set them.
And he didn't have any clue that I knew how to drive something that big.
Or that didn't know you could drive it that good.
Man, I jumped on it, and it's like, and I hadn't worked, process mechanical work since 2013, and I jumped on it like I had just got off of it the day before.
It's about like riding a bicycle.
Yes, sir.
Once you get on it, once you learn it, all of them's a little different.
Oh yeah.
It'd be nice if it was a lot newer.
But yeah, well, I ain't used to brand new stuff. I'm used to having to work on something, put a battery charger on it, and pump the tire up and get it to go.
That's normal operation over here.
Well, that's normal at my house too. If you got anything new, it's somebody else owns it, not me.
Oh yeah.
But no, I always work behind the scenes. I kind of, I'm up there in the pasture where we stage the logs and stuff, and Dave does some drone footage of me unloading some pole trailers one Saturday, but I've unloaded tractor trailers full of cedar logs. Yeah, I've unloaded a little bit of everything.
And them tractor trailers take a lot of patience.
Yeah, well, you can't, as I told Daniel and Dave and Chris, I said, you got to take your time with them. Don't get in a hurry. That's a lot of weight you picking up.
Oh yeah.
Even a 40-foot log, if it's not but 12-inch diameter, that's a lot of weight. And when you're in a pasture on unlevel ground, it don't take much to get it out of shape and get you out of shape.
Oh yeah. Sometimes they can twist and do all kind of mess, and the last thing you want is for them to come through that forklift mass.
That's true.
Get an injury, So.
I only had one come down on the overhead guard, and when it did, it rang my ears.
Oh yeah.
But you just got to take your time with stuff when you're working with heavy equipment, and you see a lot of people zipping around on it. That's fine and dandy for them, and not for me.
Well, them log trailers, they ain't really made to be unloaded with a forklift. They made to go to the mill and just get a big old crane and grab them and pick them up, then they're gone. So it's a lot of skill, a lot of patience.
Showed Daniel and them on the full size logging trailers. I said, just take your time.
Oh yeah.
Sometimes you get one log because of the diameter of it. Sometimes you get 3 or 4, but you just got to take your time, slow in, slow out, and be slow, safe, and courteous, and try to, stay alive.
And that's what makes a good operator out there in the field. Somebody that takes their time, got patience, lets the machine do the work. You get in a hurry. You see these people all the time driving these bobcats and heavy equipment. They in a hurry, or they got something on their mind, and next thing you know, what they're doing, they're working on it. That's a big key on running equipment. Folks, anybody out there that runs equipment, I know y'all can relate to that.
Slow, safe, and courteous, and you get the job done. It might take a little bit longer, but you'll still be alive at the end of the day.
That's right. That's what we're after. So
I know that's like Daniel and I can relate a lot, even though there's 19 years difference in their age. He works industrial maintenance on his main job, and I did too for 14 years. And man, it's there ain't nothing like being outside working for yourself.
Oh yeah.
Because when you work in industrial maintenance, you're expected to come up with impossible solutions to other people's problems,
Yeah.
and it ain't always that easy to do it, but you do what you can.
And it's something all the time, you know, just something all the time.
Oh yeah, oh yeah, you know, but that's what keeps the country going in industry. So we do what we can.
Unloading them log trailers, man, I tell you, that's a heck of a thing to have to do with a forklift. I don't know how many people out there unload log trailers with a forklift. You know, you can't do it with a Bobcat because Bobcat won't go high enough. That thing's got, I think, a 12-foot mast on it, I believe.
Mm-hmm.
It go about 24 foot. We blessed to have it. It lift 8,000 pounds, I think. So, you know, you got something heavy, it'll pick it up and go with it. But yeah, we mainly just wanting to introduce Bob and introduce him to all you YouTube people out there in the world. Know what he does out here on the farm, on the sawmill. Keeps everything flowing a lot. You know, we couldn't do it without Bob.
Well, that's what I tell Daniel all the time, y'all, is this barn, his shop, the pasture fencing.
Oh yeah.
When I'm dead and gone, he gonna look and say, Bob, help me with that, help me with that, help me with this. Now,
now Bob, you talking about this barn here, man, when we built this barn, about 2-3 years ago?
2019, we built it in 6 weeks.
6 weeks,
from dragging the topsoil off, leveling the site.
Yeah.
And during the week, it was mainly just you and me.
Yeah.
Now, Dave came on the weekend and helped. We had other help on the weekend, but I was here from A to Z, auging the holes, setting these cedar posts. Everything in this barn is sawmill lumber. It wasn't cut by us.
Oh yeah.
But I mean, it was cut at another local sawmill.
Yeah,
but it just goes to show you what you can build an outside building with.
Back before we had the sawmill, I had some 18-foot long and 16-foot long cedar logs, and I tell you, I was about fed up with pressure treated lumber. Anybody that has dealt with pressure treated lumber ever since they changed treatment from a CCA to like an MCA treatment, it's went downhill. They don't put as much copper in it no more, and that's what makes it last is that copper. And they took the arsenic out. You know, and that arsenic is what repels the bugs and the bacteria. But we decided to cut these cedar 6x6s that you see up here. That's what's holding this thing up. 6x6, 16 foot long. We'll put them anywhere from 3 to 4 foot in the ground, wasn't it, Bob?
All of them was minimum 3 foot, except for one on that back.
Except one on the end.
And it wouldn't go but like a little over 2 foot.
Oh yeah,
because it was bedrock back there.
Yeah, it's some bedrock, but we concreted them all in, and that give us just 12 foot in the center right here, 12 foot ceiling in the center, and we built 2 lean-tos on the side, cut 16 foot 2x6s, and them green 2x6s. And this is another thing. People don't think you can build anything out of green lumber. All this right here was cut, and within a month or two, it was getting put up. It was green as green. Now we let it air dry about a month.
It was still sticking to your gloves when you putting it in place.
And I mean, the thing is with green lumber, when you build anything out of green lumber, it needs to be like this in an open environment. You can't close it in. You can't insulate it because all that moisture in that wood is in there. So just say you build a building out of green lumber and you put insulation in it and you close the walls up, but that moisture's in that wood. It's got to go somewhere, and it'll eventually come out. But what it'll do, it'll mold and it'll rot before it has a chance to do anything. So an open environment like this, hey, that stuff, I guarantee you, there ain't no moisture in it now going through this summer.
Oh no. We built it in 2019, so it's had plenty of ample time to dry out. But I wouldn't want to try to drive a nail in it now.
I sure wish we had that forklift when we put this stuff up.
Man, we had to build catwalks on the sides to do the upstairs and all. And
the beams, they were 2x10 beams.
Man,
and that's true.
Heavy.
Oh yeah, they were true 2x10 beams. We double banded them, notched the post, made a little socket for them, set them right down in there, bolted them to it. It ain't. Hopefully, it ain't never gonna go nowhere in our lifetime.
I hope not.
You'll save a lot of money if you can provide the trees, bring them to a mill, and let them cut the lumber for you. You know, just make your materials list, figure out everything. I like building stuff on 16 foot. Building stuff out of 16 foot always works good, you know, because you got 4, 8, 16s, you know, 32s. Everything works out good on your lumber. Even when you're putting your 10 up, it always works out pretty good.
I know a lot of people say, you see a lot of videos on YouTube, they're like, you can't put 10 on green lumber. We did.
Oh yeah.
And now you look at the drone footage, it's smooth as silk.
Oh yeah.
It didn't draw it, it didn't pull it, it didn't anything.
Yeah, I mean, as long as you got an open environment like this, I mean, this wind blows up through this barn, I guarantee you that lumber is just as dry as, you know.
But the barn wasn't even built for the sawmill. The barn was built for implement storage.
Yeah, we built this
for tractors and steer and whatever would fit under it. And then that was 2 years before, or a year before, you bought the sawmill.
Yeah, we built this, put tractors and you know, bobcat, and I got a boat over there. Gonna put it under there, and this black walnut in the background. We was building it to put this under because we was gonna cut it, and we're gonna actually have a friend of ours that has a sawmill up in China Grove, North Carolina. Mr. Doug, he was gonna cut all this stuff up for us. This big, wide stuff, actually, we had to go up there to Doug's and cut it on a Lucas chainsaw mill because we can't slab 38 inches. Some of that stuff's 48, 50 inches wide. I mean, it's massive trees. So, you know, we ended up building it, putting all of our stuff under here, left it under here for about a month or two, and then we went and got this sawmill and put the sawmill up under here, and it's just been rolling on ever since. It's been a hot summer down here in Peach.
We didn't have record heat or anything, but it's been humid, bad humid.
You know, and it didn't used to be humid like this growing up and all. Maybe it's just because we was younger, I don't know, but it's like almost like we live in Florida now, you know, just humid all the time.
That's true.
Summertime, 9 o'clock in the morning, it just be so hot the devil will be out here drinking ice water. One thing I will tell y'all, if y'all do build anything out of sawmill lumber and you're using true 2-inch stuff, watch your nail size. Anytime you're doing like 1.5 inch, you know, store-bought nominal lumber, you know, a 16 penny 3-inch nail, that's perfectly fine. You just want to make sure that you know you're going in there with that true 2x4 and going into what you're nailing far enough. You know, if you nailing 2-inch stuff, you want it to go in a good 2 inches. You know, just don't use short nails. Ain't it kind of weird? The wind don't really start blowing until you start doing something around here.
Yeah.
Like cutting a tree down. You go to cut a tree down, I don't care. It'd be just as still as steel. About the time you get your wedge cut and you're doing your back cut, what happens? Dang wind starts blowing. You remember when we was setting these posts?
Yeah. They was like, well, the wind's not blowing. I said, shh, I hear you.
About the time we get one in the air, here come a gust of wind.
Yeah, you can't get them braced off to save your life.
So every now and again, you know, we have to talk a little junk to the wind.
Yeah, but it blows in summertime. It blows from the south, and in wintertime blows from the north.
Yeah, and I tell you, that north wind in the wintertime, it'll freeze your tail off. You know.
I know Dave. He's the best, one of the best sawyers I ever seen. I've seen a lot of them doing it. But he was standing out here last February, and I said, he's about to freeze working the mill. I said, wait a minute, I'll be right back. I went home and got my torpedo heater because everything's on diesel here, so diesel fuel runs in it. And I kept him warm the rest of the winter. He was running the sawmill.
Well, folks, we just want to do a little commentary today. Introduce Cousin Bob over here. Y'all got any comments, questions on what we're talking about today? I love it when y'all comment. It opens conversation up to people across the country, across the world. Very interesting to hear what everybody's got to say. You see a wild man on a big yellow forklift. Now you know who he is. But we like to introduce everybody that works out here. We're a family-owned business out here. Just regular old, just farming. You know, doing what we got to do to survive. Our sawyer, he runs that sawmill just like somebody I ain't never seen. I tell you what, I don't know if y'all see him running that thing much in the videos. I mean, lots of times you just get different scenes of the wood he's cutting and all, but you know, running a sawmill ain't just, you know, a lot of levers and switches. A lot of math involved. You know, you got to be able to look at that log and say, well, I can get a 6x6 can out of this, or I can get an 8x8 can. You know, you just don't throw it up there and just start running the thing and start cutting, and then you wind up with, oh, I got a 2x4 out of it, you know.
But do you remember what I told you when you said you was gonna buy a sawmill? I'm like, have you lost your mind? Because he had helped at sawmills, and I did with my old man growing up, and I'm like, son, you fixing to work.
Well, you know, all the sawmills that I ever ran were wood misers, and I mean, wood miser makes a good mill, but the ones I was running were kind of manual mills. You know, didn't have hydraulics on them. You had to flip the log with the log cant hook, and it ain't nothing wrong with that. I mean, they're good mills, but if you're really gonna cut a lot of lumber, you need some hydraulics on the mill. If when you get done at the end of the day sawing, you want to be able to do something else.
yeah, because the mill doesn't have a shoulder that's gonna hurt at 8 o'clock that night.
I guarantee.
You know, it doesn't have a knee that's gonna hurt at 8 o'clock that night, and you try to work smarter instead of harder. You know.
Oh yeah. But out of all the sawmills you ever been around, ain't that Cook's just a beast?
It beats anything I've ever seen.
That big old diesel. Efficiency. That big old diesel on that thing just purrs and just it burns through some wood, don't it?
Oh yeah, it dang sure does.
I like Cook's. I thought they were one of the better mills out there. Just by the way they're built. Them folks down there in Alabama, you call them up, they're good people to deal with. They'll fix you right up. Well, folks, we're gonna wrap it up for today. Look forward to seeing you in some more upcoming videos. We'll be cutting some 6x6s. Got a bunch of them to cut, so we'll be doing a lot of cedar here in the next little bit. So y'all keep tuned in, and glad for y'all to meet Bob over here. And if y'all have any questions about Bob or anything he does, y'all let us know. Y'all have a good one.